Welcome back to Killer Fun. I'm Christy, and today I have the bonus episode for This is a Cult, Not Heartburn Medication, our episode all about the self-help cult NXIVM, NXIVM, a really nefarious organization. Lots of victims, lots of people who did victimizing, really super interesting. Some of the people who did the victimizing were themselves victims, didn't realize they were harming anyone else. It's super interesting. So do go check that out if you haven't heard it. But these are the few things that we cut out. There wasn't a lot that I cut out. It was a really interesting discussion. I left most of it in the main podcast, but I do have some flubs because we always make some mistakes. Usually me. There's a little behind the scenes talk where we're chatting about an article, quote unquote, off mic. It's not really off mic. We were just on our little break while we were talking about it. And then I did pull out a story where I tell how I took a IQ test when I was in elementary school and how that all went. So you can check it out, and we hope that you enjoyed these few things that didn't make it into the main podcast. I'm Christy.
I'm Jackie.
And we're Killer Fun. We are a podcast. We start over.
We are starting over right now. We're having an existential crisis, apparently. Who are we? Oh no.
Who am I? What am I? Does any of this really exist?
You have the metronome on. There he goes.
So then they introduce Keith Raniere. Let me say that again, because I kind of stumble over my words.
I have the Rolling Stones article up. We'll want to post this one too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, send me the link when you have a moment. I haven't read that one.
Yeah, this is very in-depth.
Oh, okay, good.
I mean, for instance, he was part of a multi-level marketing scheme back in the 90s. He's very familiar with the business practice. The IQ test he took was a at-home test that he took.
Yeah.
It has all that, but it has all stuff all from his trial too. And
I saw a bunch of text messages. I'm like, nobody with an IQ of 240 messes up there and your.
Ah, that's obnoxious.
That with all the nasty sex stuff that he was talking about.
Oh, serious BDSM.
Oh.
Serious, but not real either, right?
Yeah.
He just co-opted the whole language of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
I'm not going to talk about a whole lot of that. No.
It's not, because it gets kind of gross. But,
yeah.
But unfortunately, that's a lot where his trial is, because what I mean? Because that's the use.
There's plenty of other stuff to.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
He's bad in 1,000 ways.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest. Call that educational perspective? No.
Academic.
I took a IQ test when I was in elementary school.
Did you?
They were trying to decide if they were going to put me in the gifted and talented program.
Okay.
I really wanted to be in the gifted and talented program because they got to do those fun little puzzles like we did for Thanksgiving last year, where you're like, if this kid likes this food best, then what do these other kids like best? And all those different kinds of things. They did a lot of those and they looked really fun and I wanted to do them. And they did cool stuff in that class and I was bored. So my mom talked him into having them do the IQ test because she worked at the school and you had to get 140. And they told my mom that I scored 138.
Oh, man.
And I was like, not to be like, oh, Christy, you're so smart. I'm not dumb. But I was just I'm like, it was 2 points. Close. I was so close. I don't want to have to go to the boring, dumb class.
Right.
I want to go do the fun stuff where they did more work. Why did I want to go and do that?
No, you should get 2 points for wanting to do more work. Absolutely.
A young man? Yeah, young man. Sorry. His middle name's Celeste. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. No. All right. Thanks for joining us for those few things that didn't quite make it into the episode. We hope that you enjoyed them. You can connect with us on social media, on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, on Facebook, Killer Fun Podcast, exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. Or you can send us an email, killerfunpodcast@gmail.com. Join us next week as we talk about 7 Psychopaths, a very dark comedy. It was super interesting. Man's writing a screenplay, and he has some help from dog napping friends. So we hope that you'll check that out and join us next week.
Forge Audio.
Dream it.
Build it.
Share it.